Hi guys, welcome to the Hooked Hut. It's April and at this time of year we start thinking about getting out there because it's the start of the UK shark season. And in April, the shark that we're going to be targeting is a good old Porbeagle, Lamna nasus. We do obviously have other sharks in our waters. We have the blue shark, we have the thresher shark, and of course we have the holy grail of UK sharks, the mako. However, sadly the mako is so rare in our waters now, I actually only know of 2 that have been caught in the past 40 years. Now when it comes to Porbeagle sharking, it's a very different style of fishing to say blue sharking. Blue sharks are a pack hunter, so where you find one, you'll find more. So you can end up chartering a boat with 5 or 6 anglers and there's a good chance that you're all going to end up hooking up into fish. With Porbeagles, you're going to be lucky to get 2 or 3 takes in a day. So with that in mind, you're best off chartering a boat with maximum sort of 2 anglers on board. You may have seen our previous Porbeagle film, which was called Monster Shark, the Porbeagle Adventure. That was filmed over 2 days, and on each day we had 2 anglers on board. Now after that season, I decided that I wanted to charter the whole boat to myself, so that I had as many chances as I could of catching some good porgies. I used all my own kit, and like I say, I chartered the whole boat to myself, which was a big gamble. Now when it comes to rod setups, what's traditionally used in this country, in the UK, is this sort of setup, which is a good old multiplier. This is a Shimano TLD20, and it's matched with a Daiwa Kenzaki 30 to 50 pound class rod. Now personally myself, these are all right. I find them okay for fighting blue sharks, etc. But when it comes to the bigger sharks, I find using this setup really tiring and a lot harder to control that fish. So what I use, and that's becoming a lot more popular now in the UK, is a popping rod setup like this. So this is the Daiwa Saltiga 6500. You can also get the 8000 Dogfight, but I find the 6500 perfect. And I've matched it with the Daiwa GT86 popping rod. Now the reason why they're called popping rods is because they're mainly used for casting those huge big poppers that skip across the surface for things like yellowfin tuna. But it is a perfect sharking rod. It's got a very soft tip, obviously, for casting those poppers, but it soon starts getting very stiff down through the blank, and it's got a lot of power. So don't be deceived of how thin it is. It is a very powerful rod. And like I say, I find it much more easy to use, and you can control those fish a lot better with a popping rod setup. So if you're looking for a new sharking setup, I would definitely recommend a popping rod. So I had my rod set up, I had my son as cameraman, and of course we had Jerry Rogers skippering the boat. So did everything go to plan? And did that gamble pay off? Check out this footage to see how the adventure unfolded.
Well, here we are, finally back out early April for the Porbeagles. This is my first trip of the season. It's going to be a beautiful day. As you can see, it's a gorgeous sunrise, and we're just making our way out to the mark. So hopefully this is going to be a really exciting day. If I get just 1 fish to the boat, I'll be very happy. Obviously any more than that's a bonus, but I'm hoping we get some cracking fish today and some cracking fights out of them. That's what I want. I want to get beaten up by a fish so that I can't lift my arms anymore. My son John's with me. He's the cameraman for today. Obviously this is my solo shark trip, so he's going to be the cameraman, but if we get more than 1 fish, I'll let him have a go. Let's see how we do. Here we go guys, you can see there's a beautiful sunrise coming up behind us. We've got the baits out on the balloons as always. We're just waiting now, we're just finishing up our first drift and we're going to go back and start another one. So fingers crossed, this is early season as we said before. Hopefully we can pick up a porgy or 2 today. Young John's mackerelling away trying to catch us some fresh bait, aren't you John? Yeah. We're using frozen at the minute. Obviously fresh baits is always going to work better. They bleed better when they're fresh and they get a better scent out in the water. But we're using frozen like I said. Hopefully we can pick up a few fresh ones. It'd be great if we can.
Take this quick.
He's away. He's filming, son.
Jay.
Yeah. So that's it. We're into our first Porbeagle. There was two, one on each balloon. Luckily, we only had the one hook up, and I think this is the bigger fish. It seemed to be well hooked. It seemed to be. So, come on.
Porgy on.
Porgy on.
Well done, Jay.
First fish. First fish of the season. Nice. Okay, so he's coming towards us now. So it's all about keeping that line tight, keeping tight to that fish. He's coming.
You'll have more than one fish here as well.
Yeah.
I'll get your boy one.
That'll be good. Get you into one, son. So literally we're only into our second drift. And this is exactly what happened on the last two trips I've been out Porbeagling. First drift nothing, second drift straight into a fish. It's obviously where all that chum's getting out in the water, getting that scent out there. Fighting him now about 15 minutes.
Yeah, get a bit.
And it takes some line. Got to tire him out now. Come in. So the pressure's off, we're hooked up, and that's what I wanted, as long as I'm into a fish today. Worst case scenario is catching none, not see any, nothing.
One came up on both floats.
This one now is just plodding around a bit. He did a couple of good runs, come back towards the boat, and he's been away again. I'm just letting him show us around a bit. Thankfully he's hooked up on the heavier rod. Feels a good way, definitely feels a good way. I'm in for a bit of a fight with this one. Yeah, I think it is. I think you might be right. He's still just plodding round and round. I think he's sulking a bit now.
Nice little box, actually, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Only like 20 quid they are. Come on. Hooked up quite nicely, didn't it? Quite quick.
Pardon?
Hooked up quite quick.
Yeah. All the other ones around them as well. There's a little bit of competition there.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, so we're just coming up on an hour fight with this fish. He seemed to be getting tired and then he woke up a little bit. So like I said, we're just coming up to an hour. The important thing when you're fighting big fish, you've got to keep that arm straight, have the butt locked into the fighting belt, and then that way then your grip doesn't get so tired so quick and your arms don't get tired because it's all in the legs and the back. You don't pump with your arms, because you'll tire out in no time. Still obviously get a bit of muscle burn in your forearms and gripping. You're not using your biceps. We haven't even seen the fish yet still. Hour into the fight. I haven't seen him yet. I think it's going to be a... No, that was the smaller one. That was at the far balloon. So we had a small one at the same time on the far balloon. And then this one that we didn't see, we just saw the balloon bob up and down and then disappear. There's little pumps and winds. That's it. Wind down, pump him up. Oh. The key to it is you don't put much pressure. Don't put much pressure, because you end up just pulling the hook out of his mouth. The line can take it, the hook can take it, but we have no idea where he's hooked. So it's really important never to put too much pressure on the fish, otherwise you just lose it. As the skipper says, it's not all day, no rush. We can just play this fish out, tire him right out, and then he's going to be easier to handle at the side of the boat anyway. And this is only the first one. Hopefully there'll be more to come. And then John will have to drive home, because I won't be able to lift my arms up. You can steer, I'll do the pedal.
Resting all the time now.
Nearly there, we're nearly there. So we've been fighting this fish now for an hour and a half. Come on. Make sure we've got none of that in the back. It's going again.
Resting all the time, he's winding and
Yeah.
resting. He's tiring.
Yeah. So am I. I'm tiring too. But this is what I wanted, is what I came down for. Have a good fight with the fish. Last year I had a 200-pound porgy, and I brought it in about 20 minutes. This one, hour and a half so far. Get him up. Get him up, get him up. We're not far off you, mate. Come on. Yeah, not far away. Yeah. Okay.
Get that pressure on him then.
Yeah.
He's got away now, but not too much, but as you add it.
Okay. This is tough now. Just pulling really hard. It's not a million miles away, that's the thing. Against the hole. Okay.
is mental. Mental. Just needing to come up. I need my harness in a minute, my grip's going. My grip's going now.
Is it? Yeah. Do you want a harness, yeah?
Yeah, please, yeah. That's it.
One. Where's the
Little bit was in the bag, so it might be clipped onto it.
There's nothing in the bag.
Now I've got the harness on. Just my grip was starting to give out after an hour and a half.
Hour and 40 minutes.
Hour and 40. Like circling around, circling around underneath it.
Yeah. Trying to get the shadow of the boat.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose it.
No.
Yeah, I'll see if it squeeze around a bit. This is pop up these massive meters.
Yeah. Now. Here comes John, film over. There he is. Look at that.
Massive.
Oh, look at that for a shark.
Oh my god. Get my camera as well. Oh
Look
my
at that,
god.
John.
Oh
Look
my
at that.
god.
Oh, look at that for a shark.
Oh. Get that for me.
That is a whopping fish.
That's actually.
So there you go, folks, the first shark of the day was a whopping Porbeagle. Give me a fight for an hour and 45 minutes, and you could see the pandemonium at the end when we were trying to get it to the boat. What a fantastic fish. And it's only just 9 in the morning. We drifted 2.5 miles with that fish, trying to get it under control. Just kept taking line out, I'll get it back, get it all back on the reel, and then it'll be off again. So what a fantastic fight. And if I never beat the size of that fish, I'm very, very happy. So we're going to go back now to the mark, and I'm going to see if John can hook himself up into a Porbeagle and let him have a go and see how he gets on with it. So fingers crossed we can get another one. Yeah, so John's just winding nice and slowly, because obviously as you're bringing the bait back to the boat, there could be a porgy around that might just suddenly go for it when it sees that extra movement. So you just wind it in nice and slowly. That's it. That's what we do. Once we've got it to the boat, we then slacken that drag right off, and the fish takes it, can run. When we get it to the boat, we just hand over hand with the line and the leader, just in case the fish takes it. Because the last thing we want is to have our fingers or hands wrapped up in it. The fish takes it, take your hand off. Push the service it carefully. Hand over hand like that. There we go. Until the bait's up out the water. There we go. And that's the safest way to bring your baits in. No, don't know yet. That's it. He doesn't know he's hooked. He'd be running now if he did.
He doesn't know.
No, he doesn't know. He don't know he's hooked. He's just plodding around.
No, he's hooked now. Watch this. Hold on.
Hold on, that's it. Here we go. John's into his first ever Porbeagle shark. If the drag feels too tight, slacken it off a bit. Have you? Right, cool. First ever Porbeagle. That's it. That's it, move around, that's perfect. Perfect. 13 years old and playing his first porgy.
You broke then because you weren't going to give him none.
No, I had to let him have a go, didn't I? Gotta let him have a go. Come all this way, he's got to have a go with one. Hey John.
He's got a lazy one.
At the moment, yeah. So we just got to watch. If it starts to go under the boat, I'll grab the rod and dip it. So walk him round, that's it, he's coming round.
Big fish.
Yeah, it's good fish, isn't it? So remember to bend your knees and use your back. Keep your arms straight, use your back so you can sit down into it. That's it, perfect. Perfect. So John's 15 minutes into the fight. It's a good fish. We see it come up on the surface and it is a good fish. How's it feel? It's hurting? What's hurting?
My back.
Your back? Sit down into it more then. So lean back. That's it, that's it.
Strong, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, what an amazing day it's been, guys. I've waited a year to come down and catch the Porbeagle of a lifetime. And then my son John, he had a fish of about 170 pounds. That's his first ever Porbeagle and he fought it perfectly. We did have a couple more sort of hookups later on in the day, but sadly they just spat the baits. But like I say, I can't grumble. It's been absolutely fantastic. As you can see also, we've had some glorious weather. So, been absolutely great. Well, what can I say, folks? That was an amazing trip. That gamble certainly paid off because everything fell into place perfectly, from the beautiful weather we had down to the fish that we caught. Then, of course, all hell broke loose when the media got involved, ended up being across all of the national papers, and I also had to do 4 different radio station interviews. Like I say, it was a crazy time and worth every single penny. Sadly though, as you saw, we didn't get as much footage of my capture as I wanted to, but of course we only had young John as cameraman and he had to flip between shooting video and of course taking photographs. But like I say, I can't complain. It was one of the best trips we've ever been on. So if you've never ever tried sharking, folks, I would definitely recommend it. Get out there and catch yourselves a monster. So until next time, tight lines and we'll see you on that boat.